Because I want to touch base on the readings for the next 5 months as I'm driving to a doctor's appointment. When it comes to Neptune, Saturn, Pluto retrograde, and again, Spirit keeps throwing in Venus. So all planets are always, slightly shifting. Yeah, that's the way they just put it, so I'll just leave it at that. I don't know if you guys remember, but it said yesterday in one of the videos, I can't remember if it was members or YouTube platform, and again, members you can join for $1 if you can't afford the $14.99. So I don't know why I keep saying that too. Like, it's not promoting, so I don't know what that's all about. That came through in the Taurus read, and that's one of the reads I want to kind of touch base on too as well. Good morning, guys. My anxiety is sky high. Even when I thought about doing this video, so I'm trying to breathe here. And as I was watching the other videos, well, I skipped. I had said to you, it was ironic that I was seeing a whole bunch of videos, like next 6 months, 6 months. And it was from some readers I know and some readers I don't know. And as I was putting them all on, or like somewhat listening the first 5 minutes and then skipping to the next sign, they were all giving me anxiety. So that goes to show with the readers, there's something going on in the sense of your vibration. So here's the thing. I will say, Taurus was a very positive read, but it was like a challenge every fucking month, right? But almost every single reading that they had me like scroll through, it was kind of negative and linked to past life and, just people who will ghost you. I hate that word. It's more like crickets, things like that. They were all kind of negative. So you need to remember when you're watching and listening to these things, there's always positivity and room for growth. And the reason why this is happening in 2024 is because of the shift we've been having when it comes to ascension and us kind of evolving to the 4D. We are already in the 4D, and a lot of people are not touching base on that. I don't know if they just don't know. I don't know. We're in, not every aspect is in 4D yet, but our bodies are when it comes to the energy that creates our aura, okay? So, which makes the shift a little more complicated. But that's a whole nother topic. But you need to realize, like, there's always going to be positive moments in your life and opportunities for you to create your own happiness and do what it is that makes you feel good about yourself, right? So I just want to give you guys heads up not to get discouraged listening to reads like this. And for those who have been with me for a long time, I don't ever really look into the next 5 months. It's just, or the next 6 months. It's just not something I do. I don't do, your 2025 outlook. Like, your best, if you want knowledge like that, get a reading from an astrologer. Like, don't waste your time getting a reading from a reader. And I hate to say it that way, but you want a reading from an astrologer, somebody who is looking at your chart and can tell you what you need to work with. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not sick of saying this, but I can't stress enough. Cafe Astrology will give you a free report, and it will blow your fucking mind. Like, I remember the first couple of times I just read over mine, and I continuously read over mine here and then. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. But it's so true as you embark on your journey. Like, it tells you what you struggle with, what you're good with, your weaknesses, your karma, what you came into this world with. Like, it according to planetary, your Akashic record type thing. Well, yeah, a little of both. But I remember the first time when I had an astrology reading, the first, she read out and was kind of telling me, and it was kind of discouraging a little bit because it was like, oh, so I'm not really getting anywhere in the next year, or my growth doesn't come for like a couple more years. And so, but if it's the right reader, they have a way of explaining things to you and where you're at. And when I look back and I look at all the notes, I'm like, holy shit. So again, I just passed a Humvee, but it was like a military one, so I got pulled to that. And here's the thing, I'm going to the same place, the same location where like I saw like all the green or yellow where I used to channel in the garage. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. My anxiety is definitely getting a little better. It's subsiding now that I had this conversation with you guys. So again, you need to be realistic and try not to be discouraged, because I mean, I literally can't stress enough that there's always a new opportunity for you to change your outlook when it comes to your life. It's your life. No one controls you, and I think a lot of people, we have all these rules, stipulations, the government, but like at the end of the day, you can still manage to follow the rules of that, society put in place, unfortunately, like the rules we have to follow. But there's always a different location you can move to. There's always something, you can research. There's always something more you can do for yourself. Like, and that's the truth, So it's all about, shifting or changing. And if you struggle with change, you need to really do your research when it comes to perception. And because that word is not explained well enough. Perspective and perception, two totally different things, and half of the stuff that we perceive is projected. So look up things with P's and B's. But for B's, I'm getting like bakery, which is odd. So things that make you happy, and you have doctors that stress how important the brain is. Now all these people want to stress like all this stuff is like knowledge we already know, but half the knowledge we don't know. So I will be jumping on Dallas' method soon and doing my best to break down simple aspects of little things and conversations and discussions, and maybe I can just hopefully break them down a different way for people to see things differently, like not the way society is shining on you. Again, this the anxiety again. What is this license plate at Indiana, but it's weird. Like, it's got tires, and then it's got that grate. Like, it's just strange for some reason. And then I saw the Humvee. Why am I saying that? Humvee. Yeah, right? Like, it doesn't sound right. And there's the red barn here. So here we go again. India. Volcanic ash. Volcanic ash. What do you call it when it erupts? An earthquake? No. Guys, whoa. Why am I feel like there's a volcano that's gonna erupt. Why am I spacing what that's called? Anybody? What, a volcanic eruption? Uh, yeah, like even me saying like Humvee, like I don't know. There's something I don't know. But like a volcanic eruption is, what do we call that? A yeah. Oh my dear Lord, help me, guys. But I'm getting pulled to like ash, like Bombay. So this might be a past life thing. I mean, those planets, we're dealing with those planets right now. Um, but you got to be careful too when you're listening to readers and like, oh, it's a past life thing or this and that. And a lot of times, it can be, but like we absorb that energy thinking, okay, so the reading resonates with us. It must be for me, yada yada yada. Um, and it is very often on like Taurus. It was Libra. I mean, it was Temperance, and then it went the Chariot, Justice, and then again the Chariot, Justice. So it's not that you're not seeing something. It's just it's not stop and go. Like, some of us getting tested, and there's a lot of haters. Yeah, but I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is we're in the midst of like ascension, and we've been in it, and I think like people are just recognizing certain stuff, and it's hearsay, and everybody has an opinion about something. So again, like I still think Taurus was a really good read. I'm getting pulled to Bombay again, and I'm also getting pulled to my King Tut's plant, which was Egypt. Um, but I'm still thinking India. So I don't know. There might be a volcanic eruption. Just places like, and then the ash just like didn't that? I'm getting pulled to Italy right now too. Where like all the ash goes across life thing. But because it feels like it might be readers. That's why I bring out different situations, and I especially do it in members. We can always relate to a situation, and some people will be like, they'll call it out and own it, and I can relate to this, and then others will be like, I can't relate to this, but you know what? We can. You just think you can't relate to it because, and I'm not trying to get you to relate to it, but if you can look back at a moment or something, put somebody else in that moment, because it's really about you, but we're always placing another energy there. And that's facts because there's always other energies around us. But these could be energies that are just, lingering within our aura, and we need to cleanse our auric field, right? A lot of people don't think to cleanse outside in their backyards and smudge around their homes. Like, even apartment buildings, I've smudged around my old apartment building. Like it's shit like that people don't really think to do. And this is just kind of like energy that's kind of stuck in the auric field. So that's why I say to you guys, like, you can relate to this. And then people will be like, no, and then I'll say it a different way, and then I'll call people out. I think I remember doing it to, like, Jen or Heather on members. I'm like, really, Jen? You never been in this situation? Then everyone starts laughing because they're like, yeah, I have, So it's the way stuff is broken down, and, I can't, I'm not one that will say stuff like that. Like, all right, let me put it this way. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I can. But you have to start, people have to start doing that themselves and outsmarting their own brain. You know what I mean? Our mind is powerful. I've had this conversation with you, but like when I went to, hold on, like when I went to my mom's follow-up appointment, she constantly has this rough cough. Sometimes it hurts, it doesn't. Cough syrup doesn't work, inhaler doesn't work. She does have lung cancer. Ultimately, that cough will be there and it will kill her. But she does have a little fluid in the lungs, and the tumor is a little bigger, which causes the cough. But it's our brain, and the doctor even said it, it's our brain that knows that the fluid's there, right? And it's not like bubbling, but like it's how I need to like imagine it, like it's a pot of boiling water or something for some reason, and it's dissolving. So my theory on this is, all right, maybe I can get my mom to convince herself every time she takes a sip of water, the fluid is dissolving, or like I feel like I need to get on something with her in the sense of like, because we know the fluid's there, that's causing the cough. So now we know, we always knew that's the issue anyway, but like now our brains are fixated on that, and you think to yourself, okay, nothing's working, then it is what it is, but you can prolong situations and convince yourself that it's not there, so I'm going to have to kind of like have a few conversations with her every time I see her sipping something. Are you convincing yourself, like getting on her to the point where she doesn't want me to get on her, but like I have a feeling that eventually that can smooth things over for a little while, because the more you focus on what's wrong, and more you focus on, the cough, and then your brain goes to, well, it's the fluid, there's not much you can do, so it's shit like that with any category of your life. And I'm not saying she has to train her brain in the sense of like reprogramming this and that, but the more you convince yourself of certain things, like some people, cleanse their food before they eat every single time, like that's a thing, and it's I figured to do that, and it's so simple. But if you start to make it a routine and put a note down or convince yourself, every time you pick up a fork, before you go to grab what you're grabbing, ask for it to be cleansed. Like you can convince yourself of things like that, like especially before you go to bed. Like tell yourself, like every time I pick up this fork, remind myself to cleanse these vegetables in a different way, like 456 on the license plate, 1700. I just got pulled to a combination lock, 456170. I don't know. Yeah. So, anywho, don't get discouraged with the readings. And again, like I think Aries was still a positive reading. I think Taurus was still a positive reading, especially Aries. What uplifting energy! And Taurus had very powerful energy. Are you getting tested here and there? Yeah, more or less. It's people that want to test you. Okay, so don't look at it like, oh, I'm tired of being tested. Just convince yourself. You know what? I'm not the one being tested here. They're testing me. Shame on them. Fuck them. Whatever the case may be. And I've told you guys this before. If you're dealing with somebody and you struggle, and I just said it to a friend again the other day during a breakup, and you don't want to change the name, and you don't necessarily even have to change the name. I mean, you don't even necessarily have to delete it. I think you should leave the number in your phone and change the person's name. I did that with somebody I was dating, and something happened with him and somebody else, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done with this. So I put the chick's name I replaced his name with the chick's name, and you would think like that would aggravate me with it coming up or trigger me each time, and it didn't. It was more like empowering, like, okay, I'm definitely not answering this phone call, like, bye. And eventually, you without being like, all right, I'm just going to delete it. Because how many times have we deleted a number, deleted somebody off social media, and then put them back on, or I'm just going to leave it here and just clear the energies and, this and that, and then next thing you know, months later, like, fuck this, and you delete it. You know what I mean? So, like, whatever it is you don't like about this person, like, they put you down, or there's something, like, change their name to, like Debbie Downer or Dennis Downer, like, it's shit like that, that I believe helps more than just deleting, because then it's almost like that's how you start to like resent people, like, because that's when all that other energy comes in. But if you simply just change the name, you're not holding on to other things. It shifts a part of like your soul. I'm getting soul, like the chest area for some reason. So I don't know what that's about. So again, like, you're in control, and if you listen to these videos and it's all like, great energy, this and that, like, you need to be a little more realistic, because some people don't like reading negative energy. They don't like reading reversals, certain stuff, and then you get these readers like, oh, I'm not going to change the message for you and this and that just because yada yada yada. And don't listen to that bullshit either, because we don't need to stress that type of stuff. I don't need to tell you how raw a situation is or how authentic I am. You know what I mean? Or, I'm not doing this or you're doing this, and, just, or I'm going to go, a lot of people will go like in order, and then it's like, all right, well, I'm switching an order, and I'm going to go with this one because I feel this way, and I'm doing this because this is the way it is, and I don't want to change energies or flow, and, I'm not here to do this. Like, don't listen to that shit, guys. Don't listen to that shit when readers fucking do that, because that's their own shit. That's their personal shit. That's not your personal shit. That's their personal shit. Okay, so again, I can't stress enough. I don't know if people are like, I just feel like there's like a mass that want like readings all of a sudden. It's like, you want a reading? Get an astrology reading. That's going to tell you where you need to go and head, and stuff like that. You don't need a reading to tell you if, this person is loyal. If you're questioning it, it's that you need to work on something. That boils down to your insecurities or your trust issues, or you're dealing with somebody who's not fucking loyal, and let them go. So you're going to keep attracting the same energy over and over. It's the same cycle, and it would just come in differently, and you'll be like, oh man, that ended up the same way, and you didn't see it coming that way, because Spirit needs you to learn a different way, apparently, because you didn't pick up on it on the first time around, which makes sense for me, because I can't even tell you how many mistakes I have to make before it clicks, and that's probably why I explain things differently to you, because certain situations from me do play out that way, but in the end it's the same lesson. So people will be like, oh, I didn't start off the same way, this and that. Like, it doesn't have to. Like, the cycle will repeat itself, but it will play out a different way, if that makes sense. Like, people don't make sense of that. They just like, oh, well, my cycle's fine, or this situation's fine, or I'm comfortable, or this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Like, yeah, that's because Spirit made it so it felt that way, but it's not gonna last. It's not gonna last that long. Okay, like, it will shift, and that's just the way the fucking apple falls from the fucking tree, guys. If it doesn't get picked, it falls. So it's how you want to, basically, there's a lot of fucking trucks. Holy shit, can you leave me some fucking room? Dear Lord, with the trucks. again, you know, it's how you wanna. God, they have a passenger that just gonna ding my car. Fucking white car. You can see dings like you wouldn't believe. And the old car was red. You didn't see dings like that. But this one is like you see every little thing. So, yeah. Yeah, we definitely control our own reality. That's a given. People don't want to see it that way either, though, you know? So, again, guys, we are in this ascension. We need to evolve. We need to see things differently. Like, if we don't, like, we're screwed, you know? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, my lovelies. My lovelies. You know, yeah, we control our own vibration. I'm going to shut the car off and put the windows down. Why, it's 80 degrees here in New England. Let me shut Bluetooth off. Can you guys hear me? Hola. Can you hear me? I had to shut my Bluetooth off, and sometimes it like, yep. So, yeah. So again, don't get discouraged. Okay. Do your best. I got a nasty blister yesterday. Trying to rake some shit up. It's fucking humid. I'm gonna turn the AC back on. I went to Dunks this morning. Probably gonna get a bellyache. Yeah, it's like a deep one. It's fucking like strange. I had to get into the garden. Have a great day at work. Meg, please tell me I'm right with Meg. Yeah, Shannon, you just pulled me to wicked tuna. What, at work? Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's like 80 degrees out right now. But, like, I might have to turn my car back on because it's fucking gross. Yes, okay. I did it. Choo-choo. Choo-choo train. There's a train track over here. Again, I took a shower yesterday and forgot to put what I wanted to put. And it was hard for me to take a shower. I was exhausted, and I have so much hair. See? I already have a knot. But don't you worry, guys. I bought a scrunchie. I have that. I brush my hair in the water. I mean, in the shower. But between the blister and my back, oh my gosh. I must have been in the garden yesterday for like 3 hours de-weeding. And my dad's like, what are you giving the cucumbers and zucchini a haircut? I'm like, yeah. Because nothing worse than the zucchini when the flowers fall off and it gets like soggy underneath. You know, you have to cut the lower leaves. I try to get the leaves up, you know. So everything's looking really good. The eggplant didn't come up yet though, it's flowering. I've never done eggplant, and it's flowering from the top.
And I know the eggplant, can't grow from the top, but I don't think it's grown underground. I'm assuming it'd be like a cucumber. I'm just wondering, like, why are you taking so long to grow? And we couldn't eat the asparagus this year, even though it was a 2-year crop fruit. So hopefully next year. But it will be back for the rest of our lives. And then I de-weeded like the front garden. I am getting pulled to military again. And it could be someone who's military. Yeah, I actually left an axe outside by mistake. This is no nicotine, guys, while I do the patch. But it's still like a flavor, so I feel like it doesn't help. Like it's like still an addiction. Does that make sense? Like, but at least it's no nicotine. But then it's just like an herbal. But then it's fucking things like the worst habit. But it's all right. I'm doing good. At least the nicotine is, eggplants grow into a little shrub and dangle off the leaves when ready. Okay, because it's just flowering. You just watched the whole thing on it. Yeah, so the plant's like this high now, probably a little higher. But it took that long for it to get here, and then there's like a little flower on the top. And my sugar snap peas, I think are done for the season. So I think you only get like a few weeks out of it. It's kind of like asparagus. You only have like a 3-week window where you can keep plucking, and then it's done. Which I didn't know. That's how it worked with asparagus. And I said to my mom, like, is the kale gonna grow back? But it's only growing back like a little bit. So I'm just like, which is good because like the herbs is nice. I'll have the herbs all summer. But it's good to know as I'm like gardening and doing this for the last few years, where to place certain things. Like I planted, I think, 9 rows of carrots and parsnips. And hi Henry. And there's a lot of males that just joined too. So Spirit's really switching it up for me too. So as I'm reading Henry, if it's a male or a female, to whoever you're dealing with, whoever's energy is heavier, I usually read by depiction. But welcome. Where to plant certain stuff. But again, like I think there's only like 10 things of like maybe like carrots and parsnips out of like 9 rows. I'm like, what the fuck? But again, good for next year. Like maybe I'll just plant it in a different section because I have the San Marino, the Italian tomatoes growing, and they have to be like 8 feet right now. So I think it's like blocking the sun too. And my little peanut plant's growing, but no peanuts yet. And then I gotta research these potatoes because the potato plant's like 8 feet, 9 feet tall. And someone told me when they flower, then you can go in underground and get the potatoes. But it's been flowering and they're still growing. And then the research I did said no, wait until it gets like a little cooler. So I'm like, well, that's like contradicting it. That doesn't make sense to me. And my cucumbers are just kind of like all growing. And then Mia's one looks like a pickle right now because that's what pickles are, She's like, if I pick that, will it taste like a pickle? And I'm like, I don't know. I think they soak the pickles in like whatever juice, to give it that dill flavor or sweet, So like, would it taste like a cucumber, even though it's the size of a pickle? I'm assuming it would still taste like a cucumber. that's not ready to eat. You know, so everything's, you know, everything's thriving. Yeah, fermented. So, which, I'd like a nice brand of freaking kimchi. The last couple I bought have been gross. I love kimchi, but I love cabbage. I tried doing broccoli last year. I didn't have much luck. But I'm going to expand the garden too. I keep telling my dad, like, I'm just going to build him, like, an in-law, or like a 2-bedroom barn or something. You know what I mean? I'm just going to take over the backyard. I'm gonna take over everything, and I'll call you when dinner's ready. No, I didn't do corn. Corn's, I would think, is a lot of work. Maybe like its own little section somewhere in the yard. Ultimately, what I'd like to do is like an indoor nursery, nursery where I can do my herbs year round, certain stuff year round. And I'd really like chickens. I just don't want to kill them when it's time to eat them. There's so much work, chickens, but they're cute. There's so much work. Hydroponics. Yeah, I watched something on that, but I'd like to convert like a certain room, and definitely do that year round. Yeah, for eggs, that's why I would do it. You know what I mean? But I guess they're just messy and a lot of work. So if I'm working full time or working from home, then I can keep up with it. It just depends. You know what I mean? And I just found out, like with peanut butter, I just found out, I was talking to the pet store where I used to take Kai and the torts, like when I'd go on like vacation or whatnot, because in September I'll be gone for like 8 days, 9 days. They won't take starlings. So if he doesn't fly away, I'm like, oh shit. Like he's gonna have to go to somebody else's house, which I don't want to do. Or, you know, I guess me or Kaden, I don't know, but because they stress out, birds stress out, just like dogs stress out, you know. But they won't take any type of wildlife. I'm like, what the fuck? There's nothing like fresh eggs. I put a thing out in my town on Facebook, like, anybody have fresh eggs? Like, I don't pass any locations with fresh eggs. It drives me fucking bananas. Yeah, I'm probably hire a pet sitter. Or he should be eating on his own by then, by September, mid-September. He should be eating on his own. He's starting to do that here and there. Outside, he has no problem eating on his own. Inside, I gotta kind of wean him off. So, I don't know if he ate the crickets either. Fresh eggs are the best. Yeah, you leave them out. Yeah, fresh eggs are bomb. Didn't I use that word the other day too? And I don't typically use that word. But Caden's french fries, I remember being like, oh my god, they look bomb. They were Nathan's, like, crinkle cut. I think they were Nathan's. But I had bought another brand before that, that my mom really liked. And they were like beer battered. I've never had them. I mean, I've bought Nathan's fries before, but like we usually get like Arby's fries, like the curly Arby's, because he likes like those ones. But I'm not gonna lie, Nathan's crinkle cut, if you ever come across those, because I hardly come across those, get them, worth the money. I don't know what type of potato it is, but I mean, it's definitely worth the money. And I'm picky with like fries. I don't really eat fries. Like, I love fries if I'm like going out, or like sweet potato fries. And I I've tried almost every brand of sweet potato fries, and I mean, they're okay. I'd rather just make my own. You know, so, but yeah, Arby's. My kids love the Arby's. Hayden prefers like wedges or like steak fries, which is crazy because he won't eat potatoes. But I don't like string fry. Like if you go to like a pizza place or whatnot, you know. Yeah, it's in a green bag, Nathan's. Yeah. Some of them are good, but my brother was telling me, because he used to work in a pizza shop, they switched the oil, which makes the fry, even if it's like the normal fry, it makes it like different. Like I don't know if it's lard or I forget what they use now to get like that crispy crunch, but I don't like it at all. But I don't eat the ends of my fries. Isn't that funny? And I only eat half of the peanut M&M because it's too much chocolate. So I bite it in half, I top shell off, then I put it in my mouth, eat the chocolate, and then I crunch the peanut. So I never eat the whole fry, and I only eat half of the peanut M&Ms. So, anybody else have weird little quirks? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think it's just those two. My kids laugh at me. Like I don't eat the bottom of the French fry. I just don't like crunchy French fries. Nor do I like them soggy. I just like them normal. So, yeah, and candy. I only eat half the peanut M&M. I think that's it. Yeah, I like real butter. I can't stand fake butter. But I think I'm going to start. I do Land O'Lakes butter, which doesn't have as many things in it. And then there's other ones I do too that are really good. But I think I'm just going to start making my own butter. It's cheaper and fresher and tastes better, and you know what's in it. You know what I mean? If you buy like a really good cream, like a really good one, make your own butter. And it's a lot cheaper. You can freeze it. You can still do what you do like when you buy it. I just like fresh butter like that. It's just so good. Like you can whip it, you can shape it. It's like Play-Doh, guys. You can do so many things with it. Yeah, the Amish do it. I love the frickin' Amish. Their furniture is amazing. Expensive, but amazing. They make the best frickin' rockers and tables. My mom has a beautiful table that she got from the Amish community. It's just beautiful. So we have a couple Amish countries, Amish areas. Amish, it's weird the way I'm saying it. About an hour from us and a little further. Shannon, when I was going through New York, holy shit, the amount of like Amish communities. There was a lot of them. Some of them looked ghetto though, Shannon. I was like, whoa, this must be like the Amish ghetto. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know there was an Amish ghetto. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but yeah, see, Shannon's agreeing with me. Like what? Like are they like outcasts? Like I don't even understand. And I'm not a prejudiced person, guys. What part of New York? It's when I went to the Catbird Festival last year. So we were in New York for quite a few hours before we got to our destination. I don't know what the other one is. I don't even know if I can say that word. Menatories? Yeah, anywho. No Amish ghettos exist. They do in New York, Meg. They do in New York. But I'm not even saying like it's a ghetto. I'm just saying like Mennonites, 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 Mennonites. I don't know what that is. They're giving me something to look up. But I didn't mean it like in a bad way. Yeah, Meg, I'm serious. Mennonite. All right, thank you, Shannon. I'm gonna have to look that up. Mennonite. Mennonite. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for educating me. Now I have something to look up. Yeah, no, why do I not know? But yeah, no, it wasn't like, I didn't mean it like in an insulting way, like, the projects just aren't, the same, and it does suck that I related it like that, but it's just, yeah, it sucks that I did that. They're not as strict as Amish. But it just looked, yeah, I don't, it's just like when my dad grew up in the projects, and I remember going to my Nana's, and it was just clotheslines everywhere. I just remember the clotheslines for some reason, but it was beautiful. It was safe. And then, they moved out of that part of Lawrence, and I mean, now it's just awful, and I get it, like a lot of immigrants moved in, a lot of, you know what I mean? So like, I can see why people became so prejudiced with that era, because unfortunately people did come in and start, trashing places, unfortunately. I'm not saying all the projects are like that by any means, but I mean, I've lived in some rough neighborhoods, and it's actually where I felt the safest, because everybody knew everybody's business and looked out for everybody, and you couldn't go into somebody's house like, where the fuck are you going at this time? Who do you know that lives there? Like honestly, sometimes like I actually felt really safe, believe it or not. And then I live in a safe neighborhood, and it's like sometimes like it's the opposite. It's like, oh, okay, well, it'll take a cop this long to get here, and if somebody broke in, this is why we have the guns. You know what I mean? So, anywho, I hope I didn't insult anybody, but I was just shocked, because I've gone past a lot of Amish communities, and when I was younger, I used to go with my mom to certain ones, and it's just, what's depicted on TV and certain stuff, like, I was just like, what the, like, me and everybody we were with were like, okay, like, we've never seen, like, a Amish ghetto, like, it, so, so, kind of feel bad for saying it like that. I need a good farm. Believe it or not, like, there's not that many great farms around me. I have to go a couple towns out, which could be like 20 minutes, but I'm just like, what the frig? I should open my own little farm stand there, make money, make my own cheese, make my own business in the backyard, I'd need more land. Neighbors would hate me. Neighbors wouldn't be too happy with me. I mean, they would when all the crops came in, you know what I mean? But like, make goat cheese, real butter, sell eggs, I've seen places that I thought were freaking phenomenal, where they had machines outside the farm with fresh eggs, and you put the money in, and it gives you the carton of eggs. And I'm like, that is fucking brilliant. Like, they make things like that for people who run farms, but I don't have any around here. It's like how I used to say to you, like, down the street and around the neighborhood, like, it just, like, they could put up like a healthy, like, fruit, like, smoothie place next to like a Starbucks or a Dunks. I guarantee they would make good money. Or the place like a town over to me, like a perfect little hot dog stand, because there's nothing like that around. Like, when you think about like your neighborhoods and what's around you and what you want to invest in, like, buying an old building, you probably get it really cheap from like the bank, you know, go to the bank, find out what's foreclosed, things like that. And what do the surrounding towns not have? And do you have enough room in that parking lot, you know, for people to park with the hot dog stand? It was just this tiny little shack, but big enough for a hot dog stand, and it was almost, you could do like a drive-through too, and it's almost like a Dairy Queen. It had a parking lot like that, and it's been empty for fucking years, you know. So it's things like that that we can start doing, and again, it's a community thing too, which would be nice, you know. But I don't have enough land in the backyard now to do a farm like that. I just don't. And there's building restrictions because I live on a pond, you know. So, but I know we're allowed to have turkeys and goats and all that. Like the neighbors, they've all had them, and some of the neighbors get really upset because free range, you know. But I would have to build something huge, or like fence in the entire yard and then have something up top. So we have a lot of wildlife, you know what I mean? But even then, like raccoons, they're sneaky. They'll crawl under the fence, you know what I mean? They want in, they're gonna get in. So, alright, I gotta go into my appointment. I woke up at the crack of dawn, so I left early. But yeah, it would be nice. I wish somebody in the neighborhood would do that. You know? Because you need a barn. What would you do in the winter? You know, I would literally have to relocate. And I don't know if I want to relocate. I always wanted before to relocate, but like, I don't think my dad would relocate like that. So, and I don't want to leave my dad when the time comes, you know. Even though he'd tell me to leave, but then what? Like, no, I can't leave my dad. Probably just travel. I'll figure it out. Little Laura Ingalls. Little Laura Ingalls. I gotta put my hair up. Ooh. And I left it in the towel last night for too long. I need a haircut. I need a cut and colored. Ooh, that hurts. Under my armpit, in my armpit, there was a little bump. It's gone now. I don't know if it was like an ingrown hair when I shaved my armpit. Did that ever happen to you guys? And I was like, what the fuck? It hurt. It hurt. It's going away now, though. Raccoon and foxes, coyotes. Yeah, we have all those, too. We have, never bear. We've seen moose. Lots of deer. But, I always space this when we're talking about it. Yeah, probably ingrown. Yeah, that's never happened to me, though, so I don't know what it was. What else do we have in the backyard? Bobcats? We've seen bobcats on the camera, which is rare, but it happens. We do have a few eagles that came this year, which I think is great. At the other end of the pond, my dad was talking to the neighbor, and I was like, oh, that's great. I haven't seen them yet. I've seen an owl in the backyard, and I heard one the other day. I love it when I see that, because owls are just beautiful. But yeah, I think I'm thinking of the bobcats. I keep getting pulled to a bear though. But it used to be all woods behind the pond. And now there's houses over the last few years. So we don't see the moose anymore like we did. And the bobcat, not so much, you know. But what did I watch? How I learned how like the packs, the wolf packs, like the weakest up front, the strongest in the back, so in the middle. Like the back one is actually the leader. But the elders go first, so everybody keeps up with them. I'm like, these wolves are fucking brilliant. They're fucking smart. I think we don't give animals enough fucking credit. Yeah, we have turkey vultures everywhere. Sometimes they just sit in the road. It's like, all right, dude, come on, let's fucking go. But they're smart too. They'll make sure everybody, you got that one that stands there and make sure everybody crosses the fucking road, and they gobble at you like, wait a minute, car, like, you're waiting for us, you know? They live in the trees in my neighbor's backyard. Must be like, in the morning, oh my god, it must be crazy to have fucking like 40 fucking turkeys. They fly high up into the fucking trees, and then in the morning when the sun comes out, they all fucking land in the backyard and start pecking away in that yard first, you know. So we have lots of squirrels this year. They're so chubby. They're so fucking cute. They're so freaking cute. Like, we got some cute squirrels. We got one like scraggly one the other day. I'm like, buddy, you need to get to like the feeders quicker than everybody else, because we got some chubby fucking squirrels. And the hawks haven't gotten the bunnies still. I'm just like, they sit in the front yard every morning in the sun. I'm just like, how are you not being taken? I don't even understand how you're not being fucking scooped up right now. How are you still here? But I'm glad they are. We have fox in our yards. It comes in like, they come in around 6-ish. There's like 1 or 2. I don't really see them together. Little red foxes. But they come in and they just stare at us through the fern. You know? But again, the bunny hole, the burrow was under the porch, so they're safe. They were smart where they made the burrow this year. So the foxes are probably like, fuck, I don't have anything to eat, you know? But they still come looking. Alright, I'll see you guys later today. Maybe I guess I'd like Gemini. And if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. So again, like, just remember, like, there's nothing negative about the next 5 months, you know? It's just, people are going to want to test you. It is what it is, okay? So, you know, and people are still hanging out with their karmics and acting like they're freaking friends, and they're not good for you, you know? And it just, people just don't get it. They don't see it. It's unhealthy, you know, and they feel like life is still progressing and life is good because there's zero change. That's not good. That's not a good friend. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, people, there's a lot of people right now that they're people, family members, or that ex-boyfriends or girlfriends, like, friends with, or, you know, kids' mothers or fathers, like for some reason, like, it's like they're like friendly, but they shouldn't be. Like, they're toxic, you know? And some people know it, but they're like, hey, well, it's so and so, and so, you know, they're part of the family or whatnot. But it's not good for you, because that energy is in the aura, and you're engaging with their aura. Like, it's not good. Nothing good will come from it, you know. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, guys. People don't want to see it. It is what it is. It's out of our hands. It's their lesson to learn. And unfortunately, they're struggling with that one, and they're going to have to wait until it's the right time for what goes around comes around, I guess, you know? And there's women out there that are fucking lying right now, like crazy. And I have a feeling it's people's exes, you know? I didn't do that. I didn't say that, but like, I don't, you know? And you got these people that, oh, he's not like that, she's not like that. It's just not their time to, I guess, learn. They're just repeat another cycle a different way, you know? If you're not helping each other grow and expand and getting to the bottom of things and situating things and righting your wrongs right, like shit like that, like that's not happening. Ascension is speeding up, so, and it's meant for breakups and things to fucking go down right now. So believe me when I say there's gonna be some shit going on around you each month. But please don't get discouraged, because there's a lot of positivity there. There's a chance for growth and new opportunities, and for you to step on to a new path. And that's the truth. Okay? I love you guys. I will see you soon. Bye.